Um, okay, did you want to go through your questions first, or did you want me to go through
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
trading first?
yeah, they might be very, very simple. We are recording.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has to do with hugosway.com. I went there and I was reluctant to actually start the account because in my mind, I cannot transition from the demo account to the live account. So will my demo account stay active even though I've opened up a live account?
Yes, when you are in your MetaTrader 4 app on your phone and you open it up and you go to settings where you would normally like go to set up a new Hugo's Way demo account or anything like that, you can see all of your accounts that are actually open. Just like you can have multiple demo accounts. You can have you could blow one and open another one. You could have one that's 100,000 and 300,000 or 3,000. So you could have your live account and you could have a demo account and you just toggle between them
Oh, I
um,
see it now.
to the one that you want to use.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So thank you. Um, then I wasn't sure how to create the settings for US30 to be able to do any demo trades with Jay.
Okay, so we'll go over that.
Okay.
And then what else?
Let's see. Live team trading Zoom links in events tab of team Facebook page. So I think that I've got those. That would be like that would be, are you laughing at me,
No, I'm
Jennifer?
laughing at Darla taking a picture of us in the
Oh,
background.
My 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 personal videographer.
I wrote down live team trading Zoom links in
You know, he's doing exactly what he wanted to do for his birthday.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday. Dang it.
today. Right.
Thanks.
I haven't gotten into my birthdays yet. Sorry. Happy birthday, Jim.
Thank
So
you.
the live team trading Zoom links are in the events tab of the team Facebook page. That is a yes.
Right, the Freedom Revolution members only under the events page. But to be honest, I've had some trouble locating the links on a computer, and
Okay.
I see them on my phone, and I go to the same place. I don't know what it is, but if you have any trouble locating them, then look on your phone.
Okay, perfect. And then, oh, I didn't go back to listen to this, but in the second video, I believe it was the second video that Jason Bonham did, the ones, remember you had me watch the two. I'd started watching the first one and I said, I'm confused. You said, just watch them. Don't worry. I actually did learn a lot, but in the second one, I believe it was at the 55-minute mark, he was talking about using a credit card as the best way to open an account. And I don't remember that being part of what you shared with me. So I just wanted to make sure that I understood that when it comes to going to Hugo's Way and setting up my account.
I don't remember that part of his video. I only, I mean, I don't remember all his video, period, but I only think of his video in terms of the hedging strategy,
Okay.
not whatever other content he put in there. But I mean, I know that you can either try to fund your Hugo's Way account with a credit card directly or with Bitcoin. But I'll kind of go over the credit card version with you
Okay.
while we're on here as well.
Okay. That was all the questions that I wrote down from what I got done.
Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and then I'm going to go ahead and start with Hugo's Way, and then we'll get into the trading part. So if you know, both you guys are going to want to go in here and create an account if you haven't already, hugosway.com, and just put in your basic information, and then You might get some instructions automatically, and if you don't get the instructions automatically, you're going to want to go and find the part about doing your documents. So you need to upload like your ID and proof of residence and so forth.
Right.
If you do want to fund this with Bitcoin, there's a couple ways to do it. You have to buy Bitcoin somewhere. The most popular place to buy it is Coinbase.com. Anybody who's dealt in Bitcoin previously to having to do this probably has a Coinbase account. And then the other way besides Coinbase is if you have a Cash App that you use, you can send Bitcoin with your Cash App. And if you've never done it, chances are you probably still have to set up your proof of identity on your Cash App as well. And because in order to use Cash App just for, receiving money and sending money, you don't necessarily have to set up your proof of identity with them. But when you start sending or receiving Bitcoin, you do. And so it's kind of the same thing with them that you need with Hugo's Way. You need your ID and like a proof of address or something. And then it takes them a few days to approve it. But once they approve it, it's actually easier than doing with like Coinbase, is because you just open your Cash App and you're sending Bitcoin, but then you just pick like a dollar amount. So you want to send $500, you want to send $1,000, you want to send however much you want. And then you send it to your Hugo's Way account. And anytime you're sending Bitcoin to your Hugo's Way account, you're sending it to your Bitcoin address. And that there's more steps there. If you want to go that route, we can talk about it. But if you want to, so right here in Hugo's Way, if you go to deposit funds, you select a wallet, let's say US dollar wallet, and then you can do debit card, credit card, it says, or Bitcoin. So if you were going to do what I just told you, you do Bitcoin. You do a couple steps, like it asks you how much you're sending, and you put in there, and then it's going to give you a long code on the screen, numbers and letters and symbols, and that's where you send the money to. So you normally do that through like a copy and paste process because it's too long and complicated to actually type out, and you don't want to get it wrong, because if you send money to the wrong address, you'll never get it back.
Right.
But if you want to do the credit card, debit card method, let's just say you're going to do $1,000, and then it's going to automatically, if you hit pay, it's going to open up so it takes you to Instacoins automatically. And if you hadn't done this before, you're going to have to set up a new account. So you just log in. Once you set up your new account, I'm going to go ahead and log in. And then, you're just going to choose an amount, and then you're going to put, it's going to be a debit or credit card. Now notice here, it's still going to convert it to Bitcoin, but that's all right. You're just dealing with your credit card like a normal credit card transaction. Let the computer decide how much Bitcoin that is. Deposit now. You haven't put in your credit card information or anything yet, so it's okay to hit this without being fearful. At this point, it will take you to the next screen where it's going to ask for your credit card details. Now, I have already heard from a couple people that their credit card company declined this transaction. So you'd have to, if it happened to you, you'd have to call and have them clear this merchant and then probably do it again. So in here, you're going to put your credit card info, and then that's the process. I haven't never done it this way. I've only done it the other way with the with sending Bitcoin directly. But this would be the steps. And I didn't catch that Jay said that, but I can guarantee you Jay knows more than me. So if Jay's saying that, go with what he says.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. So let me go on the Facebook group real quick.
Congratulations,
So,
by the way, to you guys for making the list. That's awesome.
oh, thanks. Thanks. Still working on that and working on making sure we have our 10 for the end of the year to be included in that drawing for 10 grand.
Mhm.
Okay, so it is showing up here. This is the event right here.
Okay.
Jay Bonham, Team Trader.
And
This one happens to be for today, but if you click on his name, it will pull up, see all the dates here. It's got October 13th, which is tomorrow. And then this is the event details. And this is the link to join the Zoom. And you can save that and use it, but they'll change it every couple weeks because they don't want anybody who's like no longer part of the Freedom Revolution group and has an active subscription or no longer has an active subscription to be able to access this. So they'll change this every couple weeks. But yeah, that's exactly where you're going to want to go. And then in the rules here, it says to take a screenshot of your active subscription and to post it. So you can post it right in here.
for active. Oh. You
That's
mean
what I was going to ask you. Do you need to keep updating that screenshot?
I mean, I don't know how they do it, honestly. I mean, I started, there was 160 people on his sessions and now there's like almost 300. So I don't know who's keeping track of the screenshots.
Okay.
I know that they're probably just familiarizing themselves with a lot of the names, and when they see the people check in and they see the names, you know, they're like, oh, they're okay. But you know, I don't want to be kicked out, so I just go ahead and submit my screenshot. And
Because I put mine in there this morning, but it's going to renew on the 17th. So like, I'm wondering if they would expect you to do it again after that renewal.
they want the IM Academy subscription?
Yeah, and Jennifer, I'm not sure, but I mean, I would just do it again.
Okay.
I'd put a little reminder and just do it. That way you don't have to worry about being kicked out or anything.
Right.
All right, so once you join Jay live in the morning, you want to be on time a few minutes early. He's usually 1 or 2 minutes after, but every once in a while he's gotten on like 1 minute before, and then he takes a trade and it goes great, and he's like, you guys should have been early. I'm like, okay, I was going off the other 9 times you were not early, but okay. But anyway, so he starts at 5 a.m. Pacific, and so yeah, you want to be there a couple minutes early. So this is what he looks at. If you guys haven't gone to TradingView, or even if you have, if you just go to tradingview.com, this is available to everybody, and it's free. So you go to tradingview.com, and then right here you can search what Forex pairs or what what indice or whatever you want to pull up on a chart. So it's US30. And then typically, no matter what kind of Forex pair you put in here or indice, you're going to get different choices. He always uses the one for Oanda over here. And most of your traders online, whoever if you follow Patrick or anybody, they're usually looking at Oanda. So
Okay.
that's just a keep that in your mind. That's the one you normally
I
want
saw
to
that on
see.
a screen. I wasn't sure what that meant.
And then this is probably what you guys will get next. And this is not what the charts look like, right? When Jay goes on or any of you as a trader. So click full featured chart. You're going to get some ads also, so you can just close them. I actually paid for my subscription, so I could just get rid of the ads and get some other features. If your chart doesn't look exactly like this, probably it's the candles, I think, the default candles. So right here, you can change your candles. If it's just a line, you can change it to your candles, so forth. You can change the color of your candles.
Okay.
I'm totally behind.
but
I don't even know
this-
where you are.
Okay. What are you looking at? What do you see?
I hadn't been there before, so I needed to get the screen. I had to like click on all the free stuff to get to where you are. So now I'm at
Oh,
the
okay.
plans for every level of ambition. So where do I go first? To chart?
Um, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, wait a second. Trading view. Which one am I clicking on again? I'm in trading view right
You
now and it
see,
has all the things on the top.
does it look like this?
Yes.
Okay, so right here where it says search,
Uh-huh.
type US30, but don't hit enter, just type US30.
Okay. US 30. Got it?
And then there's some options.
Uh-huh.
Pick the one that says Oanda over here on the right.
Okay,
Do you
hold
see
on.
that?
Oanda. Over on the right, all exchanges. Is that where I'm looking? Ah, got it. Okay. Select that. US
Yeah.
Wallet 30. Okay.
And then,
Or Wall Street 30.
okay, so does yours look like this?
Yes.
Okay, so right here you click full featured chart.
Okay. Hold on. I need to make this smaller so these can both fully fit in here. So I know what we're doing. Get off of there. So under trading view, is that where I go for full view chart? Because I didn't see you. I was looking at my screen, not yours. No.
You see my
Charting?
screen?
Ah,
This
okay.
this is what
Okay.
should,
Wait a second.
so click full featured chart right here.
Why don't I have that? Mine just has a little view thing. This is weird. Over to
All
the
right,
right
I
where
don't
yours
know.
has a full featured chart. Oh, that is what it is.
Yeah,
It's just the icon because I've made that so small over there. That's why. Okay, I got it.
okay.
It's the
So
same
you
thing.
click that.
Yeah, but mine just had that little icon that's to the left of that without the words.
Okay. Now it should take you to something that looks somewhat like this. It may not look exactly like this.
Yes.
Okay. So you got to practice your way around TradingView so you can learn how to use it. And when you follow a lot of live traders, you can see them poking around on TradingView and you can figure out what they're doing. You know, you see them put lines on the screen and you see them, maybe they put alerts or they change the colors. I mean, that's a whole different session, but this is just basically what Jay is looking at when he goes to US30 and he's trading in the morning. So what you're looking at right here is this red line is where price is currently at. So right here at the bottom of this red candle is where price is currently at. And so Jay may say, he wouldn't say this, but he might say, oh, if this red candle crosses the bottom of this, we're going to get into a sell. Okay. So that's what his on-screen coaching is going to sound like. So one thing you want to determine before you're even trading with him is what size lot you're going to use, what lot size you're going to use. If you're going to be using, let's say, a demo this week, and you have a $3,000 Hugo's Way demo account, he'll put this in the rules, and actually you're going to use a 0.01 lot size per every $1,000 in your account at the most. Okay, so for a $3,000 account, the most you would use is a 0.03 lot size. And let's say you lose trades and your account goes to like 2,500. You got to stop using a 0.03 and you should be using a 0.02, because the most you should use is 0.01 per thousand, and you don't have 3,000, so you shouldn't be using a 0.03. If you fall below 3,000, you should start using a 0.02. So if you're using the max, it's 0.03 for a $3,000 account. And if you start winning and you're up to 3,300 or 3,500, you should still be using the 0.03, right? Until you get to 4,000. Then if you want, you have the option of using a 0.04. And I'll show you that on the app when I share my app screen in a minute. But whatever that number is, you want to have that determined and figured out before you're starting with Jay. Okay. When I started, I had $1,000 of real money. Well, I mean, I guess I started in a demo, so I was also doing 0.03 per my $3,000 account. And then when I went live with $1,000. So I was doing 0.01 with him. And then I've grown my account, and I also deposited more, so now I use more than that. The reason he says a maximum is, first of all, you don't want to do more because it's called what is over leveraging your account. So if the trade happens to go in the wrong direction, so if he says right here that he wants to sell, he's expecting the price to keep coming down, and that means we all make money. If for some reason it actually went up, that means we're losing money at that moment, right? We don't lose money or make money until we close the trade, but while the trade's open, it's either going backwards and losing money, or it's going down and it's making money if it's a sell. So if it starts to go backwards and go this way against what you were predicting or against what Jay predicted, then having the proper lot size will allow this to go back quite a ways. But let's just say you're supposed to be trading 0.01 with a $1,000 account, and you say, I'm going to go 0.05. It's only going to go up this far before your account gets shut down and closed, and you lose everything in your account. So you don't want to go against the recommended rules of your lot size. And then also it says maximum because you could do less also. If you do less, of course, you're going to actually make less money, but it gives you a lot more wiggle room in your account to do different things. And you'll learn those things as you follow Jay, but it's definitely nice to have a little wiggle room. Now, if all you have is $1,000 when it comes to your live account, then you have no choice.
Did you record it?
Yeah, you have no choice but to do what he's saying is the maximum amount, which is 0.01 per thousand. You can't do, it doesn't get smaller than 0.01 in Hugo's way. So that means also, if you have a live account, you can't start with less than 1,000. You could, but you're going against the rules. If you start with 500 or 800, then there's no way you can follow rule number 1, which is, don't use anything a lot size bigger than 0.01 per thousand.
So I've got a
Now,
question.
by the time
Sure.
let me just finish. So by the time you fund your account, it might be $970 with fees and whatnot. Okay, that's fine. Use a 0.01. But don't try to be using a 0.01 with less than $1,000 or whatever fee they ended up taking out by the time your money got there. So go ahead, Barbara.
So Jay had 3 rules, and I didn't write them down, but I noted I was going to go back and write them down. This seems to be one of them, but the question was, is this only for US30 or any other account?
Yeah, this is very specific to US30.
Okay, that makes sense then. All right.
Yeah, for a couple of reasons, because lot sizes between all Forex pairs and all indices, they are all different for each one. The amount of movement that particular pair has compared to a different pair is different, and the amount of value that each move carries from one pair to a different pair is all different. So this is very specific to US30.
Okay.
In terms of the lot size, and then even all his other rules are pretty specific to just his strategy. And then so part of his strategy might be like, let's say he says when it gets down to here, we're gonna get in a sell. So, pay attention, listen closely. Don't be watching butterflies and the grass outside, because you want to hear him say, okay, I'm getting into a sell. Now, mostly, he's on point. So it's either going to go down immediately after he says it, or it might go back up a little bit and then come back down. And then you're going to be in profit. And you're going to see on your phone that the number is going to be blue. It's going to be in profit. And it's going to go down, and he'll say, oh, okay, we're 10 pips in profit. And he'll say pips. He won't say like dollars, because everybody's dollar amount is different. He might say, okay, it's going to get down to here, and at this point, it's going to hit some resistance. And if it breaks through here, it's going to come all the way down to here. And he'll say something like that. But it might come to here, and it might start bouncing back up a little bit and going, and your profit might be getting smaller a little bit. Maybe down here you were at $10 profit, and it goes back to 8 and 10 and 8. And he says, okay, you're in 10 pips profit. You can close now if you want. I'm going to hold on and see if it breaks this and comes down to here. So it's up to you when you get out, when you close your trade. I've been real conservative, and I always just close. I get out when I see money, and then boom, it goes all the way down here. I was like, man, I wish I would have stayed. All right. So, but it's definitely up to you, because it could come back up, and you could lose your $10 that you never had in the first place, right? Because it wasn't yours to begin with. But you could go back down to zero and miss the opportunity to have gotten out with your $10, or you could have stayed in and possibly gotten $70 instead of 10. But you can kind of get his clues on what he's saying, and then so he might say the same thing. Oh, by the way, he trades on the 1 minute chart. Right now, this is a 15-minute chart. So each one of these candles is 15 minutes. It takes 15 minutes for it to make its movement up and down. And then on the 15-minute mark, it moves to the next candle. And so as you can see, it's 11:46. So we just started this third candle where we've been talking. But he goes on the 1 minute chart. So it appears to have much more movement on a 1 minute chart. And that's how you do the strategy. Scalping is on a 1 minute. So notice this looks completely different than it just did when I was on the 15-minute. Yours may not look like this up here exactly, but it'll definitely have this little drop down, and you can just change which, what I did is I just created favorites. And so then that makes them all stay up here. But you can change to 1 minute if it's not on 1 minute. So anyway, he might just say, oh, we're going to get into a sell. And then he'll point out that right here, there's a point of resistance. So there's an imaginary line right here that this will have a hard time crossing. And then when it does cross it, then it'll go down to the next imaginary line that Jay sees on the screen, which might be right here. And that's kind of how he calls his trades and his strategy. But he can call sells, or he can call buys, just depends on what he sees right at that moment in the market. So you guys have any questions with that part?
No.
No, it's,
I'm
gonna
go.
have 2 computers.
So the way I do it is well, first of all, I usually don't have my own trading view screen. I sometimes do, but it's in the background. I don't even use it. I'm looking at Jay's screen, and that's all I'm doing. And then I'm looking at my phone.
Okay.
So I know Darla sometimes posts that I have like all these monitors and things, and sometimes I'm like, babe, you're like intimidating people. They don't need all that. I don't want them to think they need all that. To be honest, I'm on with 2 different traders at the same time. That's why I have multiple monitors. So I'm on with Jay in the morning, and I'm also on with Abel at 5 a.m. and then Patrick at 6. So I have them all going on at the same time, which is why I have multiple monitors. But if all I was doing was Jay, I would have his Zoom link open. I would be watching his Zoom, and this is pretty much what I would see is this chart. And then I might have the chat box over here on the right. And then I have my phone. And my phone just has my MetaTrader 4 open. And I'm either have my finger on the trigger ready to do a buy or sell, or I'm already in one and I have my finger on the trigger to close it. Because this stuff moves so fast, especially at that time in the morning. It's a little slower in the middle of the day, but at that time in the morning, it moves a lot faster. And so it could be down here and you go, ooh, I'm going to take that. And if you're slow at all, it could go right back up here in like literally 1 second, and your $50 went to $20 in 1 second. So you got to be fast. But yeah, I don't see a reason, Jennifer, why you would think you need more than one screen or two computers. You just need this one, or which is going to be the one that Jay's showing you.
Got it.
And then you want your phone.
Okay.
Because whatever Jay's showing you is good enough. Now he is probably on like a 30-second delay, you know, but that's just, we all have to deal with that with all of our go live people as well. So you might be 30 seconds behind his movement, which sometimes is good. Sometimes it puts you in a better position. Sometimes it puts you in a worse position, but it just is what it is. I'm going to share my phone now. Just give me a second. All right, you guys see my phone, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you're set up with US30, by the way, because when you get your Hugo's Way app by default and you go to enter a trade and you click here, you'll, when you click up here, you'll only see like a few things, like literally like 8. So, you know, and one of them will not be US30. So what you want to do is down here, either under charts or quotes, you hit plus right here. And then these are things you can add to your trading. Okay, you can add crypto, you can add metals. So I trade gold and silver, so I had to add metals. I trade energy, right? I trade oil, so I had to add oil from energy. And then indices. So if you go to indices, you won't see what I'm talking about in here because I've already added it, so it's already gone. But in here, it will be, it'll say US30, and you just hit the plus sign, and then now when you go to trade, it'll show up. So I added S&P 500, I added US30, German 30, and so forth. So when you add that, then it goes, when you go down here to trade, and this is where you trade, by the way, so down here on this trade tab, and then you go to add a trade, then US30 will show up. And if you're ever doing trading with Patrick or anybody, and they're saying, okay, we're going to trade something, and like it could be like USD ZAR, and you go to trade, you don't see USD ZAR, it's because it's not part of what came default, and you got to go back out and do what I did and go to exotics and find USD ZAR and then hit the plus button and add it. So once you're in here, you want to make sure obviously it says US30 at the top, so you have that done. So I have all these, which is a little bit annoying actually too. And then so here's your lot size. So this is a demo count. I have $5,000. I'm going to go ahead and do a 0.05. So you just put your finger there and your cursor, and you can just hit like backspace and turn it into whatever you want. Also, Jay does not use stop losses and take profits typically. The only time he typically uses take profits is when a trade is still open by the time the trading session's over. So if he's trading from 5 to 6, and at 6 he's got to go take his kids to school, and he didn't, and the trade is still open, it didn't hit the mark where he thought we should close it yet, then he'll say, okay, this is where I'm setting my take profit. And then we would set our take profit. But normally during his trading time, we are manually opening and starting and closing every trade. We're not doing it with stop loss or take profit. So right now, so I got my lot size 0.05, and this is the screen that I'm on while Jay is talking. So I literally just have my finger ready to go with a sell or a buy. Typically, you know, he's telling you what it's gonna be. So he's saying, okay, when it hits this mark, we're gonna sell. So I already know I'm gonna hit here, and I just wanna do it quick. So if he says sell, I'm gonna click go ahead and now I'm gonna hit sell. And this is where you're at right here. And typically you will always start at a negative point. Now, usually it moves so fast that that negative will change. It'll turn into a positive or more negative, but you usually start at a negative, and that's where the broker makes their money. They're charging a spread, and I think they charge about 2.5 pips on US30 for Hugo's Way. And what that means is on a $1,000 account, 2.5 pips is $2.50. So you always start $2.50 in the hole. It means you have to make $2.50 in the right direction before you're break even. So if you moved 5 pips in the right direction, you're going to be $2.50 up. If you move 10 pips in the right direction, you're going to be $7.50 up. This trade happens to be going, my practice trade happens to be going in a good direction. So if when Jay says, okay, I'm going to get out now, or okay, let's take our profit, you click here, you hold it, and then it's going to let you hit close. Now when you hit close, it doesn't close it. Now it's got your are you sure you want to close screen. What I always do is no matter what Jay has said or doesn't say, I am always on that close screen because I want to be ready like at a split second to close. So I am always looking at this screen the entire time Jay is talking. I am just sitting here, and that way I'm 1 second closer to where I need to be when he says close. As you can see, look at $22, $15. I mean, this stuff can move pretty quick, and right now is not even a busy time of the day where there's a lot of volume. So we just went from 30 something to $5 to negative 12, right? All in just a few seconds. So that's why you want to be quick on the trigger. Once you hit close, which I'm going to do right now, then we're out of that trade. And you can look at your history right here and just see what you actually closed out with. Because sometimes it's moving up and down so fast, what you saw on the screen when you hit close isn't what you ended up with. It could have moved up or down a couple points even between those split seconds. Usually it's right on. Every once in a while you'll see it. It was moving so fast, it was different. And that's his process. So you go to trade, you hit plus, shows US30, and then it's always market execution, which means right then and there, versus these other choices that are pending orders, right? You always do market execution. Make sure your lot size is right. Do buy or sell, whatever he's saying. And then as soon as you do a buy or a sell, this time I'll do a buy. Then I recommend that you always have the close done so that you're ready for your second close button so that you're ready to close it as soon as he says. Now, usually his trades are like anywhere between like 5 or 10 minutes. And so it could be pretty quick after he says to buy or sell that you're going to close. Every once in a while, it could be like 30 minutes or it could be a whole hour, and it was only one trade. But because most of his trades are short, like 5 minutes, then normally he'll get you in and out of trades like 2 or 3 or 4 of them in one of his trading sessions. because even though that it might only take 5 minutes, it might take another 10 or 15 minutes for the next trade to present itself, for the market conditions to be right, for him to be able to say, this is another good place to buy or to sell. But with that, you know, you're usually going to get into 2 or 3 or 4 trades a day with him. You guys have any questions on this?
I'm just looking at the screen and I noticed that for the US30, the stop loss is showing as prohibited. I'm not sure that I quite understand that because in,
I can show you, I can answer that.
okay.
So right now I'm in my close screen. So I already hit close. So I can't do anything up here. It's prohibited.
Oh,
But if I go back, yeah. So if I go back here and instead of close, you know, I was to hit maybe modify, I could modify my stop loss
got
to
it.
be whatever I want. So it was only because I was in the close screen.
Okay.
And like I said, typically we don't even use stop losses with him, but it's because I was in a close screen. Also, if I go to enter a new trade, normally we just do market execution and we just do a buy or sell. But if I wanted to enter a stop loss in advance, I could, or a take profit.
You said that he doesn't use,
Right.
set stop loss?
He does not.
And
So his, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is it because it's US30 or is it because it's J?
It's because it's J and US30, both of them at the same time. So he'll explain, because people will ask him that question during his live trading session, and he answers. He'll look at the chat and he'll answer a lot of questions when you're whoever asks questions.
Okay.
But he says that this thing moves so much and it's so volatile that if you know, because it has a chance of going the wrong way against you, a good amount, and then still go and be a positive win. So like this trade was negative $30-something. So it's already come back and been like $20 positive already. So if you set a stop loss, there's a chance that it's going to hit your stop loss and take you out at a negative $50 or whatever your stop loss was set at before it gets to Jay's target where it was going to make you $100.
Got it.
So, and you can, you know, he can't, you know, nobody can predict the little moves in the market, the fluctuations, but based on Jay's knowledge and his experience, you know, he can't guarantee it's going to go backwards for a little bit, but based on his experience, it's going to end up at the end of the day moving forward in the direction that he predicted. So if you were to set a stop loss, then it might get you in that on that wrong direction and close you out negative, and then still end up hitting his positive target, and you would have missed out, you know, not only on the positive target but hit your stop loss and then actually lost money. And then also it's because it's US30 and it moves so fast that you can't set a stop loss, or he doesn't recommend it. Now other traders do set stop losses, like Patrick trades US30 sometimes, but he's got a completely different strategy. So it's not that stop losses don't exist with US30. It's just with Jay's quick scalping strategy, he doesn't use it.
Okay.
And what he does do, you know, stop loss is there because if you're going to go and take a trade in the wrong direction, or you take a trade and it goes in the wrong direction, then you could lose money. But instead of stop losses, you know, Jay's willing to let it ride in the wrong direction for a while before he considers his trade is no longer valid and it didn't do what he said, what he thought it was going to do. Then he'll tell you to get into a hedge, and, you know, not use a stop loss, but he's telling you to get into a hedge. So a hedge means, so you enter a trade in the opposite direction for the same lot size. So if I go to plus and now I do a sell, okay, if you notice up here, I'm locked in at a $9.80 win, actually, but when you're hedging, you're going to be in a loss when you're hedging. And no matter what these two numbers do and move, and as you can see, they will move, this never changes because they cancel each other out. So that's what the hedge is. And then there's more to the hedge. This is just entering the hedge trade. But then Jay, teaches more on, well, what do you do once you're in a hedge? Well, there's a couple things you do. One is when the market goes back in a direction that you think it's going to go long term, you can close either your buy or sell out the one that it's not going in, and let the other one be profitable. Like take a small loss and then let the other one be profitable, or just leave these in a hedge and then continue on taking more of Jay's trades. Okay, so Jay's now saying, okay, I think we're going to do a new trade, and I think that we're going to get into a buy. So now, these two cancel each other out, but now we are only in this buy, basically. And so while these two sit there and cancel each other out, we're going to get into some more trades. This one happens to be go negative, but let's just say, Jay's calling accurate trades, and this one comes out $20 positive. Okay, great. Close it. This is still in a hedge. And then he says, okay, now we're going to get into another sell. And then you make $30, $40 on that one. So far, while this has been hedging, doing nothing, you've made $70 following more of Jay's trades. And this happened to be in a negative $50, let's say $50 drawdown when you hedged. Now you can close both of these and be $20 up for the day because you took $70 in wins. This was in a $50 negative hedge, and you've closed everything. And so now you just ended up $20 up for the day. That's kind of how his hedge strategy works. He explains it better than I do, and so do the videos, but that's basically how it works. Questions?
I think I'm just
Barbara,
gonna.
I know you got another appointment.
No, actually, I was wrong with the time. I'm glad I didn't jump off. I saw a message come through that it's noon, not 11. So it just made me think that watching those two videos that Jay did again are going to make a little bit more sense. And then listening to this again is going to help. I think it's all good.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know I kind of went a little fast, but I think it's also helpful to see somebody explaining the actual trade going in before you hop on Jay's session, because he explains the rules to you, and then he starts doing his trades and call trades. And if you're brand new and you haven't done any demo trading with him, it'd be a little bit unclear exactly what he's meaning or exactly what you should be doing. But it turns out that you're just doing exactly what he says. Okay, we're going to get into a buy, so you're going to add a trade here, and then you're going to get your screen here, and then you're going to get into a buy or sell when he says it. Then you're going to close it when he says it, and that's how it goes.
It just seems so funny. Oh my God. All right.
Jennifer, how about you?
I'm just, if we're in this hedging strategy, how have you've done this with him before, clearly. When he tells you which one to close out, how do you know which one is which?
They should be chronological.
Okay.
And plus, I mean, this is the bottom one that's active that I'm working. These two are hedging each other up here.
Okay.
But if this bottom one, let's say, was in a position of being a win, and I closed it, I'm still back at that $9.80 stagnant because these two were the original hedge. And so let's just say that one I closed was a $70 win, and let's just say this was $9.80 loss. He would never tell you to hedge at that small amount, but then what you do, these are constantly fluctuating, but you can close these two as fast as possible to just close out that amount, as close to that amount as possible.
Got it. So when you're hedging, you're working with 3 because the 2 cancel each other out and keep that amount safe. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could be working with 3 if the purpose of that particular hedge is just to stay out and enter new trades, or it could be a hedge that you're sitting in and you're waiting the market to to reset itself and pick a new direction, and then it might go, it might be predicted to go up or down, and then at that point you're going to close one of your hedges in a loss. Hopefully it's it's a small loss, and then you're going to leave the other one open, and it's going to turn into a win for you. Just depends on how Jay calls it for you.
Okay.
All right, so I'll share this with you guys
Okay.
and some other people as well. But and then you guys feel free to reach out with more questions. But definitely get on Jay's sessions the rest of this week.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
perfect. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Barbara, I want to show you something so